All right. Thank you so much for being here. First of all, I'd like to welcome you to Van Gogh Studios. Robbie Heisner, Michelle Raven are the owners of the company. It's a production room here. We do video productions. We do a lot of music video. We do a lot of product demonstrations, etc. So we welcome. It's available for your use either by the hour, by the day, by the week, or by the month. So we welcome you to spread the word about our studio. We have a lot of good things happening here at Van Gogh. So we appreciate you being here tonight. This is our second event of the Atlanta Internet Video Marketing Association, and we're going to work to grow this organization. There's a lot of talent in this room. We'd like to share our talents and share what we do with each other. Hopefully we can use each other's talents and skills and the work that you do, and maybe we can work together on projects in the future. I want to thank Donna Davis for helping us put this project together, and she's been the organizer here. So we agreed to come into the Van Gogh Studios and allow us a nice, comfortable, creative place here, hopefully to have our meeting. So hopefully next meeting we can double our size here and bring more people into this group, because like I said, this is about networking and sharing what we do with each other. And I'm sure we can provide you some services, and likewise you can provide us with some services. So again, hope you all got your fill of pizza. We'll hopefully have some more pizza on the way. We do. See, we got more pizza, and I know some of you came for the pizza tonight, right? So I appreciate you. So with that, I want to introduce you to our organizer and for the event tonight, and our host, Donna Davis. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So just so everybody knows, the live stream apparently isn't working. There's some kind of internet problem. So, we're good. Are we up and going? Good. It was just James. It was the fact that he was bad luck. Thank you all for coming out. I know how difficult it is to make it out, and we all work really hard. And so I really appreciate everybody coming out. And I think that we've got a great speaker tonight, Creston. I do want to let you guys know this. People keep asking me, is this for video people or is it for marketing people? And the way that I see it, there's already a great group of videographers here, the Atlanta Videographers Association, and that's all it is videographers. And they very much focus on, cameras and different things about videography. But a few years ago, we as videographers were asked to do a lot with online marketing. And so what I really want this to be about is anybody who is in that space of marketing and you care about how to get your video out there, the type of videos that you need to produce, that people are going to share, and that are going to help you. I want this to be something very much focused on online video marketing, and I think it's a huge field and one that there's a lot of marketing people in. And so I'd love for those marketing people to come, as well as people who are in video and want to keep up with all the latest trends. And it seems like to me it's just so hard to keep up with everything, because now it's like, it's got to play on the cell phone, it's got to go viral, it's got to be everywhere, it's got to be in search. So that's what I really want this group to do, is be ongoing education so that we know what's going on. And one reason I'm so happy to have Creston to speak is because we've been asked a lot lately, just all of a sudden in 2013, to do video animation. And it seems like as people do more and more video, they want to set themselves apart. They want something that's really cool. Their competitor has a video, so they want theirs to be even better. And animation seems to be what is really, really hot. So I'm hoping that everybody will use the group as a resource, and say if somebody, oh my gosh, I need a good animator, does anyone know? Just email me and I can send out something to the entire group. We have 211 people in the meetup group, and I would encourage anybody who's not on that meetup group to go ahead and get on it. You can just send me an email, I'll send it out. If you say, I need a videographer, I need an editor, I need an animator, just, and I'll send it out to people. So hopefully we'll start to use each other. And this studio is a great one. I really hope that anybody who needs a studio will consider this. And it's so nice of Robbie to let us use this. And I really appreciate James helping with the organization. There is a little bit that goes into just keeping, the website and the meetup group and being able to live stream it. There's a lot that goes into it, so it's very helpful to have him to do that. And please suggest topics to me, things that you want to know. So Creston Parker, I met him just a couple of weeks ago, and he is an awesome animator and very reasonably priced. So he's going to speak about show some of his projects and talk about the growing demand for video animation. Creston?
Thank you, Donna. Thank you, Van Gogh, for having us here. How's that?
It doesn't seem to make a lot of difference.
No, just kidding.
Oh, that's not, yeah, it's just for the camera.
Okay, so my name is Creston Parker, and I've been doing 3D animation for 25 years. Started with in a full production house, so I understand all the production stuff, although some of the technology has definitely changed. And then I've been on my own for 16 years, since '97, and grew up in Kentucky, was in Birmingham for a while after college, and then went back to Kentucky. Then I've been down here almost 5 years now to the Atlanta area. And I want to show you some samples of some work and how it relates to you as marketers, especially for internet marketing. As you know, as Donna mentioned, you know, everyone's wanting to get their video in all sorts of places, phones, iPads, computer, everything, and which makes it challenging to for all the formats, but we deal with that. Let me see here. So one question is, why has there been a demand for animation? My specialty is technical animation. And the way I describe that, it's animation that teaches, explains, and clarifies and makes things simple, easy to understand, simplifies things. So with that, I'll first show you, this is just kind of just a demo reel of a bunch of things together. So. So, the question that Donna gave me was you know, why has there been a greater demand for technical, especially technical animation recently? And I think part of it is because with the way we're using the internet, there's so much knowledge out there and people want to know everything. I mean, you don't just go to the doctor anymore. You have to ask, what do you mean by this? Everyone's doing their own research. And so people love to know how things work and why they work and what they're actually buying versus everything else, lots of comparison stuff. So that's where I come in, because I like to show how things work, especially someone that maybe doesn't understand a technology or a process, that sort of thing. This particular animation, this was for a company that they have I'll call it a non-sexy product. It's a product that goes inside of 18-wheelers or other trucks that are refrigerated, and it separates the truck into a frozen zone, a cold zone, and a not-so-cold zone. So again, it's not a sexy product. These panels in the middle, it's not a sexy product, but in an 18-second animation that they first want on their website. They'll use it at trade shows as well. They're able to make it understandable and be able to explain what it does. This animation was actually originally for Valvoline years ago, and it was basically to show how their oil is used in an engine. The whole idea behind this, it was at a what's it called? The end of an end cap at a store, and it was going to be used to show how their oils were good for older engines, how they improved the seals and made it better combustion so it would run more efficiently. So that was that project. 'Cause again, one great thing which the videographers will like is that I'm not replacing the camera, because I'm trying to show things that you can't show with a camera. Whether it's inside of an engine. This one is a medical animation. This was actually used in a court of law to show an operation that was done. But this is also can be usable for I've done some things with surgeons to show a new procedure that they want to share with the medical community, or to share with their patients of here's the process we're going to do in this particular surgery. This one is fusing the vertebrates, the C5 and C6 in the back. And it's also a way that someone can show a medical device being used without showing bloody images, which aren't very tasty for people trying to view things on a website, or what a procedure is doing, or how an appliance is used in the medical realm. Don't look. Look, no blood came out, see? I always have to ask that question, are we supposed to see blood or not? Because I have had some in the court case, they wanted blood to show. So what it is, we're showing the process of making the incision, opening up the body, and then they take out that's actually removing the disc from the vertebrate, cleaning it out with a little vacuum device, and then they put in the artificial disc. And some of these have been for surgeons, and others have been for the people that create the appliances. Put that in and put in the screws. And it makes people feel after they watch this that they're an expert and they could do this on their own, right?
Looks easy.
It comes it's a kit in a bag. Comes in one bag, everything you need, to do your weekend surgery. So, and then the sutures. So that's one way of taking a very complex thing, because and that's the end result, showing the X-ray with the appliance in there. Because a lot of times in the court of law, they'll have an expert on the stand, a surgeon or someone, and it's so easy for them to talk over the heads of people that aren't in that realm, and so it's a way to really explain it visually. This, let me see. This one is a guy that was he drives a truck for a living, and he injured his knees, and the idea was to show how his knees were injured, and kind of the final effect of what his life is like after the injury. Again, we're showing things you couldn't really show necessarily with a camera, because in a moment we go into the anatomical. Now this particular guy, the truck he drives has a clutch pedal. It's a stick, because that truck doesn't come in an automatic. And so he had an accident, hit both knees on the dash. So it wasn't a severe accident. It was enough to make the airbag come out, but not a huge accident. But the issue, as we go into the anatomical, is that both knees, there's the right knee, has these two problem spots in the cartilage that were messed up. And then the left knee, which is the one with the clutch, instead of having those two little missing pieces, actually had these two little flaps. That's an actual scope from actually inside the knee. They put it inside the knee to show the actual, that it's to scale and realistic. And every time he uses that clutch pedal, that little flap, just nothing but pain happening. So he really can't do his job anymore. So that was just to show that, it wasn't just an injury and it's going to heal and he's going to be good. But it's a long-term effect the rest of his life. Let's see, now we will move into, this is a product that if you have a warehouse and you need a cold room, but you don't want the whole thing to be frozen food, you can put a mini warehouse inside of a big warehouse by sliding these panels in on a track. And this was one they were going to use for trade shows and on their website. So basically, they create, and the same panels on the top. These are insulated about they can come in 6-inch or 12-inch thick, but it's an instant cold room inside. Now, it's not going to be a building that stands outside and can handle the elements, but inside a warehouse, it's a fully functional cold room without having to build a whole warehouse that's just for cold stuff. And that was one of those that's also a very non-sexy item, but in about 30 seconds you understand what the product does, how it can be used. Sorry for the Georgia fans, this is Alabama. When they redid their stadium, we worked with a video production company, a marketing firm, as well as the architects to visualize what the stadium renovation would look like. And this was really used to market to their alumni and potential donors to raise the funds for the new stadium renovation. So it was the way to get everybody excited about what the stadium's going to look like. And again, the other side of this, the other end of the stadium was the one with all the usual boxes, and this was to do the same thing on the B side, with all the common areas and restaurant areas and all that. So this was a way to really boost the excitement to get those people funding it. So, and it did happen, so it worked. And then you'll see the other side, the other end, which is the side that they already had, which we animated some additions they did over there as well. But this was the side they really focused on for this animation. Let's see, the next one is, you know what, that is it. So the idea is to take something, especially if you have a client with a product that it's not an exciting product and not a sexy product, but a way to show it in a way that is more exciting and definitely shows all the features of it. Another great use is if it's a complex, and this is my favorite thing, is to animate either a complex process or a device, and a way to just make it easy to understand so that someone within 30 seconds can know what it does, what the differences are, what the benefits are of this product. And so that's really a great way to use it in marketing. Granted, a lot of that can be used in different ways, whether it's on a website or at a trade show, but a way to make it memorable, because those visuals are definitely going to make it memorable for somebody and it's easy to understand, which can really sell it if they know what it does. So that's my presentation. Thank you very much. And do we have any questions?
Yes, I was hoping that you would show the pivotal video. Do you have any of that you can?
It's not done yet, so I can't release it.
Okay. Well, what are you doing? This is really cool, I think, and this is what people are asking. In fact, I bid on this project, and I ended up being impressed when the marketing company's the one that got it, and I saw their video, and I'm like, that's so cool. But it's like this little story with a stick man, like here's the problem, here's the solution, and he's doing a great job. And
Thanks.
It just looks.
Yeah, that was showing a.
intense.
Yeah, that was showing a
That's
process.
storytelling for
Right.
animation I love, and I think
Yeah.
there's going to be a lot more of that.
I really see animation as storytelling. It's just a different medium, the medium that I use, and it's how to tell that story. And yeah, that one is using stickmen because it makes it, again, it's easy to understand. But it's a company. It's to show what they do and how they help their clients and how they actually help them to become part of their team together, working on their business. Any other questions?
Oh yeah, I'll get up a little later.
Okay.
Actually, I don't know how much I should ask, but okay, what programs do you use for software?
The major one is Maya, an Autodesk product. I have 3 guys, animators, and they use some different products. They're younger than me, so they like trying to use all new tools and everything. But Maya is the one that I prefer. So several different tools,
Okay.
but that's the main one.
What else? I was going to ask what prices, but it's probably not a good idea.
Actually, no, that's fine. It's done by the complexity. For instance, an easy example is when I do something for like an attorney for a courtroom, if it's a car accident, sometimes they want like a 2008 Ford Explorer limited edition, and we can do that. But sometimes it's, as long as it's an SUV, it's fine. It was about the stoplights, it wasn't about what kind of car it was. So then we can use something we already have or simplify it. So let me see if there's an example.
Like, how much of the stadium did you do?
The stadium.
I mean, that looked really complex as well.
Yeah, that one was probably, I want to guess it maybe 7,000, which that was like a 2-month project. And part of that was I'd show them some animation like, oh, you know what, we changed that inner room. Now it has 12 columns instead of 10. So let me send you the new DXF file. So, but the one with the cold room, which had all the panels going in, I think that one was more like maybe 2,200 or 2,000 or something like that. So it really just depends on the complexity.
Well, I mean, I guess I should clarify, I'm an animator as well.
Okay.
And I'm actually trying to get into working with interior designers and
Okay.
working with
Yeah.
product developers. A lot of it I can't show because they have all kinds of non-disclosures.
Sure, sure.
Do you run into the same
Yeah,
thing?
absolutely. Especially for the attorneys, because somebody's really depending on that to be something. So I can only show ones that have passed and I get their permission for. So, and same with some of the product. Yeah, some of that's product development that I can't share, but yeah, with everybody anyway. Actually, the stadium, I had to keep it under wraps for 3 years because they had it ready and then the economy went down. It's like, well, we're not going to do the stadium quite yet. And I'm like, well, can I show some clients, man? Really pump it up. They're like, no, you can't share it. I kept calling back. Finally, it was 3 years later I could share it. So, yeah.
How do you get the knowledge to put it together?
That's what I was
Especially the medical stuff. So like the spinal fusion. I mean, how do you get the knowledge to know what?
Well, the internet's great, and typically what I do on something like that is I'm actually either a phone call or actually meeting with, like in that instance, it was a surgeon. Say, what devices are you using, what tools you're going to use, what appliances, kind of describe it, and they'll describe it, and I do my storyboards. It's funny, it's a little more than a stick man the way I draw the storyboards, but at least it's enough to show what the angles are, and then send them photos of here's the appliances I found, are those the same ones, and sometimes it's not, sometimes it is. And then rough it in, and they've got to be the one that okays it. So sometimes it's learning as I go. A lot of times, especially with the medical. Yeah.
I was going to ask, how long does the animation freezer room? How long does that take?
That one was about 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
But that was with approvals, so back and forth. Yeah.
I have a question similar to his. I'm curious about working with the client
Mm-hmm.
and how much oversight. I mean, do you have clients that want to stand over your shoulder and tell you exactly? Do most clients know what they want, or is it left up to you?
Some do,
to
some
bring it to the
don't.
table, or
Yes.
how does that work? And how, like I said, do most clients know what they want, or are they expecting you to deliver the concept for them?
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. A lot of times I'll get a client that they're like, well, we've got this, I'm working with a solar company right now. It's like, well, we have this product, it's pretty complex technology, and so they have a bit of a puzzled look on their face. And then we start sketching some stuff. It's like, so let me see if I understand this right, and how it does the conversion of sunlight to electricity. Does this sound right? And sometimes they'll sketch a little bit too, because sometimes they're engineers, which awesome, they don't have all the knowledge, but as far as it making someone understand it might be a totally different question. And I'm one of those equal right brain, left brain people. I love talking to engineers, I love talking to artists, and I'm not extreme either way, but I can communicate between the two. So sometimes they have no idea what it's going to look like when they're
They're showing
done.
you photographs or drawings or a written description, perhaps? I mean,
Mm-hmm. And a lot of times I'll get a script out of them. Sometimes I have to kind of do the script, but a lot of times it's, what's the process? Again, that's the story, animation story of, what's the story? For instance, the cold room, it's like, okay, you have a warehouse, and then we're going to put this thing in there, and how does it go together? They sent me a few still photographs showing the track and how it slides together. It has a V-groove in the panels that goes together. So, okay, we'll do a close-up on that, because that's an important feature, and then and I had to call them back, and it's like, okay, what about a door? I mean, you got to have some kind of door, right? So first we had those ribbons, you know, that you can go through with a forklift, you know, and we animated that, and it was like, oh, great looking animation, you know. We're like, you know what, we really can't use the ribbons because we don't use those anymore, so it has to be a real door. Okay, I tried it, but anyway. So sometimes they don't always know what they want, but again, it's a process of going back and forth for a lot of it. So.
When you get into a situation like with Alabama where they change the schematics,
Mm-hmm.
does that impact the price? Do you go back and say, well, that changes everything, so, or do you play that by ear?
It didn't on that.
Can you repeat his question?
Yes.
Depends on
Oh, sure. Oh, repeat the question, I'm sorry. Oh, the question was, like on the Alabama Stadium, if they change the blueprint, does it change the price? On that one, it didn't. I don't like to change it unless it really changes the scope of work. But, you know, if it gets extreme, like, oh, okay, there's a whole nother wing you're talking about now, or another floor, then, you know, we're talking another, 6 days or whatever it is. So sometimes it can, but whenever I give a quote, it's like, here's the quote, as long as the scope doesn't change, then we're good. So, because I like it to stay where it was. So, anybody else?
Well, how do you market yourself, and how do you get clients?
How do I market myself? Most of it's word of mouth. My website does some, but most of it's word of mouth. I'm in a niche that I'm not in a particular industry. Video production companies are great because most video production companies don't have an in-house guy because there's not a call for it every week. So that's definitely a good referral. But most of it's word of mouth. I'm in some networking groups that help on that as well. And repeat business, so.
If, this is actually kind of personal, but
Okay.
if I were to get a client that was way too big for me, could I shop it out to you and help, find?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting because even with the video production companies, what's that?
Can you repeat the
Oh.
question?
Oh,
For the sake of those that are watching. the
right,
live
that don't
stream,
have the
they're not
mic.
able to pick up the
Got it.
question.
So the question was, if someone has a job, could they shop it out to me? It's interesting because sometimes a video production company might say, oh, you need an animation, let's get Creston on the phone and see what he can do. And sometimes it's, yes, we can do that. And then I'm their guy down the hall. So I work either way, however they want to work it. Because some production companies like to have everything, their one-stop shop and do everything, and they can mark it up or whatever they want to do with it. And they're just kind of the guy down the hall to them. But then sometimes it's, let's keep it separate, you go to him for the animation and come back when you get that and we'll plug it in or whatever. Same with website companies, because a lot of times they're like, well, we have a guy that can do that for you, and then we'll put it on the website for you and host it or whatever. Anybody else?
Anybody else? Questions?
Did that answer yours on the?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Okay.
All right, let me take this. Thank you, Kristen.
Absolutely.
We're so smooth. Okay, I won't belabor this long because we've got pizza, fresh, hot pizza. So sorry that we ran out. I did forget to mention that I wanted to thank a sponsor that we have, Copy Talk. They do video transcriptions with time codes. They've been fantastic for us because that's a part of my business. I do a lot of interview. I like a natural style look with people rather than a script and them saying something. So we just send it off to them. They transcribe it with time code. So I would highly recommend them, and I'm so thankful to them for helping out with the sponsorship. And I wanted to go around, we could cut off the live stream because people at home can't hear this anyway, but just want to go around real quickly and everybody kind of just tell us who you are and what your company is and maybe why you're here. Marianne, did you cut it?
I'm James Bell. I work with Robbie and Michelle and Van Gogh. And I've touched a little bit of Robbie's work with me. We've done a little bit of everything in the production business from conventions and themed